I'm certainly glad you could join me again. I hope you are doing fantastic. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about Super Mario 64. As always, I'll give you my thoughts on the game, what I liked, what I disliked, and at the end, I'll give you my score. And a little fun fact before we start, I never owned a Nintendo 64. Back in the day, I had a Sega and the Sony PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn. So I missed out on a lot of games, so I catching up on these. And I played this again on the Nintendo Switch now. Luckily, we have the collection. And back in the day, I read a lot of video game magazines and I heard about this game a lot. I saw a lot of screenshots and read a lot of articles. So I know that this game is a really important game for video games in general. It's like a trailblazer and it defined a genre basically. So, but I still just went into the game without knowing almost anything about this game except, again, these screenshots and magazines back in the day and knowing that it is like a really influential game. So let's start with the cover. First, I go for the Nintendo Switch cover because I have to be honest, I don't like it so much. It's kind of uninspired and uncreative. It's just, I'm personally not a fan of these collections, especially when it comes to video games and movies. If they just slap 3 covers right next to each other or 3 different art styles in this case and just put a logo there and call it a day. It looks a bit uninspired, like I said, and I don't like it so much. I think it's mediocre. I would give it something between a 5 and a 6 out of 10 maybe. But let's go over to the original N64 cover. In Europe and America, it basically was the same, and I like that. It's a cool cover. It's not like something extraordinary, but it's awesome. I like it. I think it's better than the Japanese cover, but still, I think the original US and European cover, I like it. I like that we see Mario. We have like the castle in the background. I love that we have Boo there. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, we don't have Boo on the Nintendo Switch cover. It's like covered up by the Super Mario 3D All-Stars logo. But yeah, that's it for the cover. I would give the cover a 7 out of 10. It's a good cover. I like it. I know for many people out there, it will be so memorable and iconic, and they have nostalgic memories with this. Again, back in 1996, 25 years ago, if I would have gotten a Nintendo 64 and played this throughout the whole summer or over the holidays, I would have had lots of nostalgic memories for this game as well, I guess. So I absolutely understand if you would say this is a 10 out of 10 game for me, or a 10 out of 10 cover in this case now. But yeah, I totally respect that. I think it's a good cover. I like it. Let's go over to the soundtrack. And this is one of my absolute favorite things in the game, is the soundtrack. The songs are awesome, amazing, especially when you go to the sunken ship level. You have this track, I think it's called Dire Docks or something like that. And I really like that. Such an amazing tune. But the whole soundtrack basically for Super Mario 64 was amazing. I really enjoyed it. It was great to listen to it. The same goes for the sound design. All the sound effects, they were pretty cool. Really like, this is a Mario game and you have all these cool and fun and colorful sounds, if it makes any sense. And I really like the sound design in that game. One sound I didn't like was the sound of the camera, because you had to adjust the camera, and every time you did that with the right analog stick for you, it made a sound. So this brings me over to controls and gameplay. And one of the things I didn't like about it was actually the controls, because it is the first 3D Super Mario game. And in that regard, basically back then, it was a trailblazer. We did something that hasn't been done before. We did something like you had a 3D character moving around in a 3D space. And I think for back in the day, 25 years ago, the controls were awesome, were great. But they don't hold up so well. They didn't age well. Basically what you have, if you have your 2 thumbsticks, the left analog stick is for moving, right? And the right analog stick is for looking around. This is like how we are playing games for the last, let's say 20 years now. But in Super Mario 64, you move around with your left analog stick, but the right analog stick, you don't have free control over the camera. You basically have, that's what they show you at the beginning, you have the small little guy following you with a camera. He's sitting in one of these floating clouds and he's following you throughout the game. And what you can do with the right analog stick basically is just setting between 3 different camera settings. And every time you change the camera, it makes a sound. And it really was leading up to lots of frustrating moments because you didn't have a free movement there. You couldn't control the camera in real time. You just had, like I said, 3 camera settings. And this led up to a lot of frustrating moments. Till the end, I couldn't get used to it. At the end, it was okay. But this is the thing, that's one of the things that I criticize. They should have, with this collection, changed the controls and bring this game to the modern ages by just changing the right analog stick and giving us free movement, free camera movement. But again, it was a set movement, and this is something that really didn't age well in my opinion. But other than that, to come to the gameplay now, the gameplay was awesome. It is a Super Mario game, lots of fun, it really is addicting. So many things to unlock, to find, so many secret levels and secret things hidden throughout the game, which I loved. Really, it was amazing to play this game. You basically have stars that you have to find and coins, different kind of colored coins, like the gold coins, red coins and blue coins. And that was just, as almost every Mario game, really addicting. I had so much fun playing the game. Again, this combined with the soundtrack and the world build. Basically in Super Mario 64 you have these floating islands, and I could see a lot of younger people or a lot of people who, like me, missed out on this game and coming to the game 25 years after it was released. I see a lot of these kind of people maybe criticizing the graphics and the controls. Again, the controls, I have to say, I really didn't like, and I have to criticize that. I wish they would have changed it to modern controls a little bit. That would have taken the game to another level, I would say. So I see a lot of these people maybe criticizing the controls like I did, fair enough, but they also will criticize the graphics or the art style. It won't appeal to them like newer games, of course. And they might say, I see them saying that it didn't hold up well or didn't age well. And the funny thing is, my daughter watched me playing Super Mario 64 a couple of times, and she was like looking over my shoulder and telling me that this Mario game doesn't look so good, she told me, and she didn't like it as much as the other ones. She thought it doesn't look as good as the other ones, and that's funny. Again, I see why people would see that and think that. I love the art style because even though I didn't play it back in the day and I don't have like nostalgic memories, I still got the buzz back then 25 years ago through gaming magazines, and you have friends and classmates that play the game and you look over the shoulder. Or I think I tried this game out on kiosks in stores, so I played it for a couple of minutes and I saw that, and I was kind of there back then when all the buzz was about Super Mario 64. So finally playing that, it kind of revokes some memories from back then. And I really liked the art style, the trees, the characters, the landscape, everything. That was pretty cool. Again, the floating island thing, that was something I had to get used to, as well as like the world build in itself. Some levels made a lot of sense, some didn't so much. What I liked is that you had to basically go through the castle of Peach and collect stars to open doors, and after each door you kind of encountered Bowser and had like a little boss fight there, and he was like, see you next time, and then you had to go to different levels and unlock the next door. That was pretty cool. And at the end, I think you can have 120 stars, and I got 105 stars. So I didn't complete the game fully there. I saw the ending and I collected all the stars in all levels. So you have basically 15 levels, and in each level you can collect 6 stars, and I got all 6 stars in each level. But also you can get another additional star by collecting 100 coins in each level, and I did this for I think a third of the levels. And then you have some secret stars, and I think I got half of these secret stars, a little bit more than half. So I don't play with guides or anything, I just played the game like that, and 105 stars was a lot of fun. The reason why I didn't complete it 100% again were the controls. I only complete games 100% if I really love the game. And yeah, that's basically it. Did I like Super Mario 64? Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. Again, it was a lot of fun. Like almost every Mario game, lots of addicting gameplay there to collect all the stars. And even though some things maybe don't hold up well or didn't age well over time, like for instance the camera or maybe even the graphics for some, I like the graphics, I like the world build. I see why this game is so important for video game history and why it was so innovative back then, and basically one of the first who did the 3D thing. Again, the art style, the 3D thing maybe doesn't hold up so well, especially if you see like older 2D games. Again, my daughter played a lot of older 2D games, and she said, oh, this Mario game doesn't look so good as the others. So she was comparing them to Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3 and stuff like that. So you can see there is maybe something about this game which didn't age well. And again, to conclude this, I wish they would have changed the camera controls. That would have notched up my score a little bit higher there. But I'll give Super Mario 64 an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I totally understand if you would give this a 9 or even 9.5, maybe even a 10 out of 10. If I would have played this back in the day, 25 years ago, I probably would have given it a higher score, maybe a 9.5. It is an awesome game. It is responsible for so many things that came after it, and I absolutely see that. It has a legacy, and yeah, I respect that, absolutely. It was a lot of fun to play this game, and I can't wait to play Super Mario Sunshine and then Super Mario Galaxy, because I didn't own a GameCube, I didn't own a Wii. Again, through that time, I always stuck to PlayStation, so I'm kind of catching up on all the Nintendo classics. So for all these games, I will do a follow-up episode as well. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this episode here, and take care of yourself. I see you next time. Bye-bye.